A fashion designer's impact goes beyond the runway. They change the way we look at ourselves and those around us. Video Fashion Designers chronicles their past successes and follows their evolution into the 21st century.
True glamour is timeless and trendless. Women having confidence withstands time and trend in fast fashion.
With his signature hourglass silhouette, nipped and tucked to perfection, Zac Posen redefined modern glamour from the moment he audaciously appeared on the fashion radar a decade and a half ago. As the go-to designer for self-assured movie stars, models, and it girls, Posen quickly became a 21st century red carpet rainmaker, leaving his ultra-glamorous mark on the celebrity scene with his intricately timeless designs.
As soon as I saw him years and years ago, I thought, oh, that's someone who's doing exactly what I love. So I've been following him for a long time.
Zac is always such a craftsman. He's a gentleman. He makes clothes that women feel beautiful in.
I love Zac. I mean, he's a true couturier. I mean, you can't say that about a lot of people. And he's really about the cut, the details, the craftsmanship. I mean, you want to cut a dress, it's a Zac Posen dress.
Even First Lady Michelle Obama appreciates his sartorial skills.
The unfinished babies that will be finished.
Zac's talent for designing extraordinary dresses and relishing the dramatic possibilities of clothing came at an early age.
I started designing when I was 4 years old on small plastic Shira dolls. They were called Princess of Power. And from then I continued making clothing for myself, costumes always. I was very involved in theatrical performances as a young child. And from then I started designing for people when I was about 12 or 13. Then I did an internship at Nicole Miller in which I was able to design, and she was a great teacher. And I worked at Toka in high school. I had a really incredible internship at the Metropolitan Museum, and I was working under Richard Martin. And then I went to Central St. Martin's in London when I graduated high school at 18.
Zac came back from London, and there was already a buzz about him. For the first few years, we were really doing this in my parents' living room. Since we'd built it from scratch, we obviously needed some investment.
In 2004, Posen received that investment from entrepreneur Sean Diddy Combs, amplifying the media buzz surrounding him and his label, and it has yet to fade.
He's really fully come into his own. I mean, this is a designer who's very confident, who doesn't feel the need to chase every trend, who can make beautiful, womanly clothes.
What he's built in over the years through meeting customers, through dressing celebrities, is he's learned to dress women with curves. He's learned to dress women who need to go to work. He's learned to dress sophisticated older women, and that's allowed his brand to grow into a really nice cross-section of women who love fashion, love direction, love color, and love detail.
Just sort of effortless chic for a woman who loves fashion. She's unconventional, but she loves the traditional codes of luxury.
He's incredibly imaginative and daring and is always pushing himself to refine his skills, and his clothes are incredibly exciting and sexy and feminine, and he loves women, and it's evident in his work.
Really helps, especially these days with all of the media attention on fashion, that Zac is such an incredible personality.
His supersized personality and limitless creativity hasn't gone unnoticed. In 2014, Brooks Brothers appointed Posen as creative director for their signature women's line. Receiving numerous fashion awards and a gig on Project Runway, Zac has reached a new level of fame the world over. But all the glory does not distract the bold designer from his primary goal.
I'm interested in clothing that is timeless, that will have the hand-me-down quality and treasures to keep.
Zac Posen seems to be the kind of designer who thrives on the chaos that goes with putting on a runway show.
It's very exciting. I mean, I think, brands that are aspirational and have glamour create that excitement.
Front of house filled with celebrity scene stealers. The famous fans who wear Zac Posen easily identify with his love of old Hollywood glamour.
Well, they're really feminine, and I think that They allow a woman's figure to expand. And you know, if you have hips, if you have curves, if you go in some places and out some places, it works.
Our woman has, you know, that toughness to her. She's definitely, you know, a little rock and roll, and you know, they're sort of a different array of an army of exquisite creatures. It's really about for the individual woman and what looks good on her. You know, it's like saying that a Chanel jacket looks good on every woman. It just does not. And you have to make those options for them within your design vernacular.
I think his best collection ever. Shapes and colors and movement. He looks sexy and beautiful, and that's Zac. I mean, that's what he does best.
I was very relaxed through the whole process in this collection. It wasn't, you know, sometimes I'm very severe about, in the preview of the collection, building it before, and this I let it organically evolve. It started with shapes and forms in muslin. A lot of play is how it starts. You know, when you play with things and have that whim, you know, turn things upside down, build textures, you know, and have a lightness about it.
It was really, really beautiful. We actually went to the same kindergarten. So, we've known each other for years and years. I feel like the level of class in society is disintegrating as his level of class is going up. It's like, it's disproportionate because, you know, his stuff is so sophisticated and elegant, and it almost reminds me of what you'd imagine like Coco Chanel was like or something, you know, in the 30s or something. So I was pretty blown away, I have to say. It was beautiful. And I don't even care about clothes, and I was blown away.
It's a myriad of influences. It's, you know, I think that's what's modern in creative mediums right now. You know, I think in music, you don't see people making albums with only soul music on it. It's very mixed. I think in the art world, you see a collage. I mean, that's, you know, things are building that way. So I think that's what a modern collection is.
From the beginning.
I think for a young American designer to show in Paris, it's a big risk, but it's a great risk that one takes.
I started the line with my friend Ralston Crowe. Everything had to be through my hand, so I would drape, and then we would make it, and then it would become a little stiff, and then we'd have to deconstruct it to get this edge in it. I wanted to show the seam, so the sheer quality in the clothing is really to emphasize legs and length. Lots of the clothing has snap crotches in it, so there is coverage. But the sheerness is really to highlight our seams and our construction. We balance bias through the pieces. Sometimes it looks sort of simple, but it's actually quite complicated construction and balancing. It's very traditional in that way, and these are techniques that we have to keep alive in the art of making clothing.
This was Zac Posen's debut in Paris, and I think he pulled out all the stops in terms of technique and draping, very passionate color, and of course, he loves Saint Laurent, and he showed in the salon where Saint Laurent used to show. And huge reliance on feathers. Feathers everywhere. Feather shrugs, feathers trapped inside chiffon, feather prints, feathers on hips, cleavage. It was a very passionate and dramatic collection.
What definitely attracts me is the detail, the level of detail, the level of quality. It's very couture.
I think he felt that the clothing he was dreaming of had a home here and would find an interesting reception. And we had launched Z-Spoke, which is our secondary line, and wanted to have sort of an independent home for that. So, you know, we showed that in New York 2 weeks ago, and now collection in Paris.
It's a dream to sort of break this cultural barrier artistically. I've always related to French designers in fashion. I think it's been interesting how I've interacted into the American fashion arena. I think I've treated it more as sort of like a pop element and interacting in that way, and I think that now it's time to have that dialogue and be all smiles, and then I can just protect and own my craft and share that with the real connoisseurs of fashion and what makes us still inspired and excited. It's very important for me, my company, for the studio, and my customers to be inspired to dress. We started with evolving this continuous idea of American haute couture, looking at early 60s Italian haute couture, and then I started this obsession with finding photos of the Duchess of Windsor in her time in Asia, which there are very few, if not any, photos. We were building with lots of different new construction techniques about structure and freezing movement, trying to find our own origami patterns and working with the fabric and how it naturally moves, and each piece finds its life and creation and building, and then the models bring it to life.
He certainly designs for a very glamorous woman, and he has a sensual way of cutting clothes.
I think that Zac just knows exactly how to dress a woman's body. I also love the old Hollywood factor that he always sort of has in some way or another. Even though the styles change with his collections, there's always some sort of element of old Hollywood, which I adore.
He's my friend, and I really love his clothes because we both reference and we love these eras, 30s and 40s, all the little details. So, that's one of the reasons I love wearing his clothes.
Well, Zac is one of my favorites, a good friend, and he's just so creative. My first outfit is a beautiful red and black bordered dress that's Asian inspired. My second dress is this huge gown, a midnight blue with black, and gorgeous, very decorative in how he's, put the bodice. It's not just material and a big poof, but just how he's layered the material over material. It's very beautiful.
I must say that going through the dressing room tonight and previewing what the gowns look like, it's amazing. He is the ultimate craftsman in the best of the Parisian traditions, and I think that the way for him is only up.
I'm interested in clothing that is timeless, that will have the hand-me-down quality, and treasures to keep. The starting point this season was American Swans, Truman Capote's group of women that he dressed, that dressed themselves, that self-created. The Brenda Frasers of the world, a woman who dyed her hair black and created herself into the first American socialite on the cover of Time magazine. It's about glamour, about elegance, and about preservation of craft in America.
Who knows how to do a beautiful dress better than Zac Posen? One after another, after another, after another of perfectly feminine dresses and gowns. I mean, he really is a couture-like designer in terms of his craftsmanship. Really amazing.
Glamour is always evolving and what defines it. I think now we're actually coming into a really exciting place again on the red carpet. I think there are more risks. I've actually never created for the red carpet. When we're building our gowns, I think of the amazing, very lucky women and customers that are able to order them all over the world, and it's wonderful when they find themselves on the red carpet and become a moment.
There's so many great details, his tucking, his choice of colors, his prints. It was really refined, and he's evolving. He's really becoming a master of his craft. It really is way up there in the stratosphere in terms of his skill.
This collection was spectacular. Just that slight nod to the 1930s, but thoroughly modern. I loved all those beautiful printed gowns, something you would almost see in a 1930s movie. I hope we see more of those gowns on the red carpet, because that's what Hollywood should be dressing in.
I'm wearing a huge ball gown in the most beautiful color, and it's just a real number. It's what every woman dreams of wearing, and I think that's what Zac does so well. He makes women feel feminine, which I think is a dying art form.
I thought it was very beautiful and very dressy. Oh, well, it certainly is. It is a retrospective of the great dresses. Beautiful.
Construction and detailing is everything for me. You can have something very simple, you can have something more wow and elaborate, but I'm really interested always in looking at historical detailing or in inventing new detailing and how that all plays together. I think the most important thing is to creatively push yourself every season so that you stay excited and interested. Surround yourself with a wonderful team of people, keeping your hands in it, actually building and draping the pieces, and loving women. For fall 2013, we're playing with a longer, leaner silhouette with emphasis on shoulders, clean construction through seaming. The collection started with me cutting from sacred geometry, the Fibonacci spiral, seeing how that lays on the body. It's supposed to be sort of the mathematical equation for the universe and for everything and for femininity. So I said, what does this look like when it's soft and in movement? And it started, and how many variations can I take the same pattern piece and drape it in different ways to create a structured coat, to a soft maroon dress, to just like a two-piece with one seam, cleanest, simple, almost wrap dress possible you can make. And I think there's something interesting about a level of cleanliness right now. I think that our volumes are a little bit more tame, and I think it's refreshing. I mean, there's sort of one major ball gown in the show of volume, but the rest are pretty long and lean, and I think it feels more of the moment. In terms of colors, we're playing with a very rich color palette, almost a Vermeer color palette, and on top of these very clean architecturally sculpted clothing, we played with a cording technique. I thought that those had a really nice, strong element of luxury and a decorative quality.
He's really fully come into his own. I mean, this is a designer who's very confident, who doesn't feel the need to chase every trend, who can make beautiful womanly clothes, primarily for evening, but we saw some great day looks at the beginning of the show, and I think he really embraces his gift, which is for making a woman's body and spirit feel spectacular.
He just has such a beautiful, classic, gorgeous feminine eye, and then his regular clothes too. I'm wearing his whole ensemble. I went backstage and I had my shirt unbuttoned a little, and he's like, "No, I think this needs to be buttoned up a little." It was really cute. I got like my little model moment with Zac Posen.
In terms of separates, we're playing with separates this season, which we haven't had on our runway for a while. Evening tops mixed with soft skirts, a balance of soft and structure, but it's always still feminine, and it's about womanhood and a strong, sexy, confident woman. You know, just sort of effortless chic for a woman who loves fashion. She's unconventional, but she loves the traditional codes of luxury.
I'm so happy to be back here in these clothes that make me feel so alive. I'm wearing a gorgeous orange kind of color, a gown, and it's crossed in the front, and it has a beautiful inched-in waist, and it's, I love it.
His work is amazing. I mean, Zac is known for making a woman very sexy and confident. You know, he's dramatic in ways that come through his clothes, and I love having that sense of style and especially a point of view.
Strong women are feminine because they have that confidence. And, you know, I think soft clothing and structured clothing both have different parts of strength to them that are part of a woman's personality.
Zac is a good friend, and it's always interesting to see what he'll put down the runway, and a little bit more sportswear and daywear coming out of Zac than we've seen in seasons past. And he was loving kind of a faded green that had a little bit of a houndstooth check on top of it. There was double-faced cashmere, and they were all very, very pretty, but I was loving the sense that he went to that disco era as well. A lot of bugle beaded dresses, and I love to say that because we don't actually always see a lot of bugle beading. You could see Bianca Jagger wearing many of those dresses that were on the runway last night, and they were in beautiful shades of red, beautiful shades of emerald green, and certainly brilliant silver, which just caught the light in the most remarkable way. I loved Anna Cleveland, one of his models who was in a great green satin dress with a full skirt as she spun and danced down the runway, spinning in that amazing satin gown with the skirt just going everywhere. And of course, we can't not mention that finale with Naomi Campbell. So it's always a great time when we go to a Zac Posen show. He is not only a fashion designer, he's a high dramatist. He likes to bring a lot of excitement to the runway.
It's about having fun, it's about looking beautiful, it's about feeling chic and your character in life and becoming who you ever wanted to be. That is what dress is for.